evening. Hello.
Hi, Kelly. Good evening. How are you?
Hi, Pankaj. I'm very well. Thank you very much for joining me on Heartbeats of Hospitality today. And I'm
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Pankaj, I would love to hear your story because you are a new character that I've just found out about and you're very exciting. So,
Mhm.
can you tell us here, what do you do and how long have you worked in hospitality?
It's been almost, 8 years. Like, I've been a part of hospitality industry, and I feel, I'm blessed to be part of this industry because if I think, I cannot do anything apart from being the hospitality professional. And I would like to tell you a little bit about my journey, like why did I opt for this particular course?
Yes.
And it's a very funny, you might laugh on it, but I think many people will connect with me on this. So when I passed out from my school, I wanted to take some like break, I didn't know, like I wanted to figure out what exactly I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to, at the same time, I wanted to improve my communication skills. Like like as we were talking about the Hindi, language. So I have studied in Hindi medium school, and in India, it's really important for you to understand and speak English as a language. I think it's an international language, because we are connected because we can speak English. So I wanted to take a break, and understand like how I should improve my communication skills and personality develop. And in between, I started working for a call center. I worked there for almost 2 years, and gradually I improved my communication skills. And I had like a crush, on Maria Sharapova. If you've heard of, she's a famous
Uh-huh,
tennis player
the tennis
from
player.
Russia. Yeah, yeah, right.
Hi.
And one of the I was in teen, I was in my teen, and in one of the interviews she said like my perfect match would be a chef. So I thought like it's a bingo, I want to do something productive, and I want to do some professional course, and she's the one, who likes to marry a chef. So why I should go for it. So then I started exploring different colleges, where I can be, and fortunately I got to know like JP Hall Training Center. It's one of the best college in India, and it's like kind of a scholarship program. Every year they take 20-25 students, and it's kind of a free education, they give to people. And I always endorse my college. I always talk about it, and I always want people to know about it because I feel very blessed. So that's how my journey began, and I wanted to be chef initially, and in my second year I realized, it's not my cup of tea, and maybe I should start something. But I love cooking, still I cook at home. I cook for my wife, I cook for my pet. So I really enjoy it. So that's how my journey started, and I started working in hotels. And my first property was the Oberoi Amar Vilas.
Mhm,
It was like it was a pretty good experience there.
mhm,
So that's how I started my career from there.
mhm, mhm. So, do you mind if I ask you, what do you do right now?
Right now I was working with the Conrad Pune. I
Mhm.
was working for a hotel in Pune, but now like and I was in a job transition phase, so right now I'm not working, so I'll be joining my next company soon once
I
the
see.
situation gets normal.
Okay, okay. Is the pandemic actually affecting you quite a lot as well during this time because of the transition?
Sorry, come again.
Is the pandemic actually affecting you with the transition?
Not really. I would say like I've started my YouTube channel, and I've been talking to a lot of people and exploring different things in my life, and I could spare some time for my family also. So I don't think like there is any shortcoming for me personally.
Mhm,
But yeah, like I when I talk to people and they told me like due to financial crisis, that's something we cannot overlook. Absolutely, people are suffering, and I really feel we get over this thing pretty soon,
mhm,
and we make a strong comeback. And especially for hospitality, this is the worst period I ever seen in my career.
mhm.
And even like when like terrorist attack happened in India, there was a chunk of business, which was affected. That was the first time when hospitality got hit, but like this is the second time, and this is one of the biggest like hit on hospitality. And I would say it's not only in India, it's global.
Yep. Okay. So, I get it. This is actually a really, actually, I would say devastating for a lot of people in our industry.
Hmm.
But also,
Hmm.
it's a time for us to pivot, and this is the
Hmm.
time where we can actually grow as well. So,
Absolutely.
And I'm very glad that you're also on this journey where you would like to bring the positivity and the changes into the
Yeah,
industry, and to tell people that, hey, this is not the worst thing that can happen to you. It's time to
right.
be positive. It's time to grow ourselves as well. um,
Hmm.
Pankaj, I know you have a wealth of experience with you. I know in the last 8 years you've been everywhere almost. Yeah, I know you've been traveling for work as well. So can you tell me what is one of your most memorable incidents at work?
See, as far as a memorable one, I would say, yeah. So I had there is one incident, I had goosebumps. So I really adore, and follow the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Singh Modi.
Mhm.
So I was happened to be his butler when he came to one of my place where I used to work. So he came there, and there was a big event. It was a 2 days event, and my company chose me to to be with him, and that was very very fascinating and very eye opener for me, because I got to see him, I got to talk to him
Mhm.
personally, and I this is the one experience I think I lived for, and I will adore it for my whole life. And yeah, so this is one of the experiences which happened to me, and I am really thankful for it.
So, what's it like being a butler for a prime minister?
uh, it was very like new experience for me, because when you become a butler or someone who will be assisting him or her personally, then it is a responsibility, and you need to handle everything with the white gloves. You cannot leave any stone untouched, because whatever he was about to consume, I had to taste it. I had to check, because I had to make sure whatever he's going to be served, I have to, because his security personnel asked me to do it. And people went to my hometown to check like I was authenticated person, and nothing goes wrong, like way before the event happened.
Hmm.
So it was altogether a very learning experience also, like what all things you need to take care when you are going to be someone who's be handling a very VVIP person on the planet. And then I was working for an aviation company also. I worked for like 3 years, and there also I got to work with some of the celebrity, and late Mr. Kofi Annan. I happened to like fly with him also, and Oprah Winfrey. So these are a couple of the names I happened to be, and that was very very like again a different experience, because when you see people on digital media, and when you talk to them personally and you find them, and trust me, like the people who I met and who are celebrity, they're very humble, and you exactly get to know like how you should be when you become something, and how you should inspire people.
That's amazing. Yeah, actually, Mr. Kofi Annan is one of my, like, in a way, idols. I really, really respect this man. Yeah, well, that's quite interesting because you've met a lot of politicians. I would say even,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
these are people that a lot of us, we don't even get to interact with them. We only see them on
Right.
television, and we listen to their speeches, and we know about them. But being up close and personal with them, I guess they are also just humans, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's how you learn, that's how you realize, like that's I told when I had goosebumps, like I couldn't like I don't know how, I don't have words, how to explain the situation, but I was not able to control my emotions, like how I'm going to be with them, and how I should react.
Mm,
So that's very different feeling,
yeah,
altogether.
yeah. Well, that must be really memorable. Thanks for sharing that story with us.
My
Um,
pleasure.
Pankaj, I know you are a change maker in this industry. You are somebody who's actually looking for betterment for hospitality as well. So I would like to
Mhm.
ask you this question: what is one thing you would like to keep in this industry, and what is
Mhm.
one thing that you think we must change for the future in
Mhm.
hospitality?
I think seeing the current situation, because I'll give a lot of value and a lot of importance to the current situation, because this kind of situation never happened to us. This is the first time it is happening, the
Mm,
pandemic situation. So we have to learn so many things, because this kind of situation might arise in the future. And if we don't learn and if we don't prepare ourselves for the future, then there is no meaning. So my point, one thing I think I will keep it as it is. like we people, being part of hospitality, we work on holidays, we work on like different festivals. Diwali is one of the most celebrated festival in India, and people do work on it. And I have been like in that situation, where I had to work, and I worked with Smile. So I take, a lot of like, what should I say, I take a lot of pride of being hotelier. And I think people, this is very, I think, kind of profession, which has been always behind the curtain. Nobody gave spotlight, and I think people should give some sort of credit to our industry and should value, like, we put a lot of hard work to make a small smile on somebody's face. And it's an art. I would say it's an art. It's not like anybody can do it, and it takes a lot. So this thing, we should continue, and we should make sure like we leave a happy smile, on people's face. And we are doing it perfectly, I would say. Wherever I go, I've been to like a couple of countries in Europe, and I've been a couple of countries in Asia, not to Singapore. It's my one of my dream destination. I would love to be.
You're more.
And yeah, thank you so much. And in India, like you go, it's in India, I think it's altogether a different feeling. You feel the real luxury when you go to properties in Jaipur or Udaipur. And that's how you feel the royalty. How the Raja Maharajas used to live, and what sort of legacy they used to have. So this one thing, I want to keep it in hospitality till the infinity. And one thing which I think we should not, I would say, change, but we have to, see the alternate. Like that would be being flexible. Sometime I feel, like, especially in Europe, I don't want to take any name on particular hotel or chain, but this thing, they can learn from Asian countries, being part of the hotel groups in Europe. Like if it's 10 o'clock, if you're running late for your breakfast, then they shut. They don't care, whether you had your breakfast or not. And I feel empowered when I serve something to somebody. If I am serving some, maybe a glass of water or a tea, because this is the food is something which is very basic and very important for our life, for our human body functioning. And if I'm giving that sort of thing to somebody, I'm giving a lot of value, adding a lot of value. It doesn't matter I'm being paid for it or not, whatever it is. But I feel, like you have to have more human like touch to your whatever you do. So you cannot be like straightforward with your rules and regulation, that it's 10 o'clock, I cannot serve the breakfast. To me it doesn't make sense, because then you cannot call yourself hospitality. Then you cannot say that you welcome guest. If you welcome guest, you have to be a little flexible. I can understand, like, if somebody is coming at 10:30 or 10:15, but 5-10 minutes, here and there, I think we should be flexible enough, to do like for them. And we are because of them. If somebody is coming to us as a guest,
Mhm.
it's like they are bringing a lot of value. They have a lot of options, right now in the market. Lot of, you name it, you are getting like 60% discount right now, because due to the COVID-19 thing. So people gonna spend, people gonna make your life more valuable if they come to your property. And if you are not adding value to their life, then it doesn't make sense. That's how, I see things.
What I'm hearing from you is that, to have the empathy as well for people. And also, I mean, yes, the flexibility is one thing, but the generosity that comes from your heart and hospitality is supposed to be innate. I mean, when we provide the kind of service that we do in hospitality, and the true words of
Right,
hospitality is the generosity from your heart.
right, right, right.
And you empathize with your guest. Yes, as you said, like 5-10 minutes is not a big deal. Yeah, but then
Mhm.
like half an hour or like an hour later, and they insist like, "Hey, why isn't there breakfast?" I guess then we have to exercise rules. But then at
Absolutely.
some point we have to be flexible as well. And I like that. I mean,
Right.
it's a mindset that we need to
Yeah.
shift. It's
Right.
not just black and white. Nothing in the
Right.
world is black and
Absolutely.
white. Yeah,
Right.
fantastic. I like that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
The one thing that you wanted to keep earlier, let me just go back to that. It was the human touch in the humanity in the business. Is that what you're saying?
I meant to say, like, when we are working, we work with a smile. It doesn't matter whether we are working on a holiday or whether we are working on a working day.
Yeah.
So that's like something, which inspires a lot of people. When people talk to me, they tell me like, you guys are best, you made my day. When I decorate somebody's room, or I sent a cake to somebody's room, just because they were celebrating something. And not only celebrating, it might be a small moment for somebody, Like I have a lot of things, to share on this particular part, on the guest delight. And
Yeah.
I feel, like when you work for hospitality, you are empowered, I feel, to
Mm.
make a lot of changes, to bring a lot of smiles, and which will last throughout their life, right? So I won't take a name, but I will share a small example, if you allow me. uh not example, but a small story, which happened to me. And I happened to be someone, who brought a lot of smiles, and it was, shared with among the hospitality people. So I was working in one of the property in Agra, and it was very prestigious, and I would say very expensive rooms were there, and still is very renowned and very popular. And you get to see Taj Mahal from each room. You can imagine, like, people are coming to see the seven wonder of the world, and they can see from their room. So I had, like, it was initial part of my career in 2013, I would say 13 or 14. And I had one couple, they came to my bar, and I used to be a bartender at the time. So they asked me, like, can you make a particular drink, and it was not in a menu. And it was very fascinating to, like, hear the ingredients, but they were not aware about the particular name and what exactly it was called. So I asked them, like, where exactly you had that drink, so I can try on Google or something. But it was not a very authentic or a very, basic recipe. It was very innovative. There is so much innovation in this particular domain. When you are in bartender, you can do so many things. You can add so many glitters, so many flavors to your drinks, and do like whatever you feel like. It's very creative, I would say. And yeah. So then I got to know, like, they were talking about a particular hotel which happened to be in Singapore. That
Mm.
particular hotel happened to be in Singapore. And so what I did, I called up my manager and I asked, like, what I'm thinking. Meanwhile, I served them different drink from my menu. I told them, like, you enjoy this drink. And I didn't say anything. I just served my drink to them, whatever they ordered from my menu. And I found out the number of that particular hotel, and I called them and I asked them, you have anything like that with this particular ingredients?
Mhm.
And the bartender told me the recipe, that that's how you can make the drink, and this is called this particular drink.
Oh.
And within, like, next, I think, 10-15 minutes, I was able to serve that drink to them. And I gave it to them. And the lady had tears in her eyes, like, how did you make it happen, like, when you're not aware. So my point of telling this particular thing on this platform is to, like, if somebody would be hearing right now, like, whosoever wants to be part of hospitality and who is already there, like, want to tell you, you have so many things, so many ways to bring a smile. And I feel empowered, as I told you earlier, that you can do so many things. You can touch so many lives by your small gestures. And your small gesture can be something really, really big for somebody in their life, and they will cherish throughout their life. So that I feel, like, connected with so much with this industry. It's a people industry, and you cannot grow and you cannot do anything without people. So you have to engage with people, and you have to do your best.
You're very inspiring. That story just tells me that you go above and beyond the expectations of your guest. And actually, I think um it's just from your heart. It's just because you want to make them happy. You just wanted to make them smile, and it's your curiosity that
Hmm.
actually got you there as well. That's a
And
fantastic story. Yeah.
yeah, and one more thing I want to tell you, I want to tell, like, from this platform, whoever would be listening, even I'll be listening like 100 times, and the people who want to be the part of the hospitality, they would be listening it. Like, when you join this particular industry, when you're part of this industry, you will have a lot of situation, a lot of problems, and a lot of glitches. It happens, because we all are humans. And you, like, I want to add one quote here. When the, like, one particular property was built in Dubai, which is tend to be the seven-star hotel, and a lot of money have been spent on it. So even if you can build something like that with that caliber, you still cannot meet everybody's expectation. So my point of telling this particular quote is that you cannot go right with 1,000 people. You can also be wrong. You cannot meet their expectation. They might have a different expectation, and that will happen. Glitches will happen, problems will arise. But then you need to find a room, where you can add the value, and you can create something memorable for them from that incident. So I take pride. I used to take pride when I was part of that particular organization, and still wherever I worked, I used to tell my people, I used to tell my team, please call me. Like, even I'm in a different restaurant, I looking after different restaurant, if you find anything, somebody is complaining, please call me. And if you cannot handle the situation, let me, and trust me, I will try my best. I will give my sweat and blood, to make that particular guest happy. And they will remember me at least, and remember that property. Like I like, and I always say to students, nobody sees like nobody sees the results, everybody counts the efforts, how much effort you put. So
Yep.
if, as a human being, we all have emotions, we see like how much effort somebody is putting. So if you can do that, I think your job is done. It doesn't matter like whether you got that particular result or not, but you have to put the efforts.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think we all need to hear that. Anyone who's working in the industry needs to hear that. The people who are thinking of joining the industry needs to hear this too. Um, not every day is sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies, right? We all have like
Absolutely.
good days and bad days, but we make the difference when we put in our effort. And one
Right.
word that I love that you always use is the word empowered. To
Hmm.
feel empowered, to be empowered. I think this is also something like the trust that the organization gives us, and also the
Absolutely.
trust that we give ourselves, to
Right.
actually make a difference in somebody's day. And that empowerment is very strong. And this is something that I also advocate in my journey as a hotelier or somebody
Hmm.
in hospitality. So, yeah, great. So now I'm very curious to know what keeps Pankaj motivated. What is your one word core value that keeps you
I
motivated?
think my, like, you are asking with regards to hospitality or like my day-to-day life, what
Day to day
inspires me
life,
so much.
hospitality, whatever.
See, I feel, like with regards to hospitality, I started my career with a certain, company, certain organization, and they put it in my blood, and I feel very thankful to that particular organization, and that particular chain. And I still preach, whatever they taught me. I still preach every day, and I tell people, and their values were, I want to tell you, like guest is first. Like first comes your guest, second is your colleagues, who are working with you, or sorry, second is your company, and third is your colleague, and fourth yourself. So whenever you are in a doubt or in a situation where you have to take a tricky decision, just put all these things in order and you will get the answer. So I think this makes a lot of sense to me, and I always try to put in my journey and my situation, wherever I get stuck in with regards to hospitality,
Mhm.
and with regards to my professional work, and with regards to my personal life. I would say I come from a very, very, sort of a place which is not very fancy. I come from a very, very basic place where the resources are still not very huge. So if I can make it, and definitely anybody can make it. And when you learn so many things from people, and it's your responsibility, you help others, and you return the favor to society. And yeah, so many people like message me on different platforms, LinkedIn and everything, and I try to help them, by educating them. And right now I just started a movement, to help, because I feel like in hoteliers, hospitality, people are not very active on LinkedIn, and it is a platform people should be. And it's a kind of, like I feel like so much, I learned so many things from this platform. I met so many people, who added so much value to my life. So from this platform, I also want to tell you, to all the people, who are listening from hospitality, if you are not active on LinkedIn, please make an account and be active. Not for the purpose to seek a job, but if you be active, you will get notification from all around the world. You can connect with people from all around the globe, and it makes a lot of sense, and it helps, so a lot of people.
Okay. Okay. So, any last messages for the people working in hospitality or the ones who would like to join, maybe about the scenario that's going on in the world right now? Do you have any last words for everyone?
See, I think people should hear what I'm saying right now. It might, people might like it or people might not like it, but I feel, like right now the situation is very tense, and if you are somebody who has been asked to leave, do not lose your heart. You are not the one. You are not the only one. Who have been asked to leave, and don't think about that particular thing right now. I understand. We have like financial crisis, we have financial limitation, but this is something which is not in our hands. And if company is not making money, then they cannot survive. They cannot empower you, they cannot give you the salary. So if you're somebody who has lost the job, I would suggest, to keep like find something, meaningful, like, and add value to it, and learn some new skills, which might help you in future. Like people, I suggest people, to learn languages if they can, different languages, because we are in hospitality. We cater to a lot of people from around the globe. If they can learn something from that, something from there, then it makes more sense. And apart from it, any other thing, which they feel like, maybe playing guitar, or maybe be it anything, they can work on the resume. Because usually when you're working, you're working for 3-4 years and you forget about your resume. You have to make your resume also. And I talked about the hot topic, LinkedIn. So be active on LinkedIn, engage with people and see exactly what is happening around the world. There are so many things happening, like right now, even with this particular COVID-19, brought so much new innovation in the industry, which will help us, to learn and how to execute things. So
Mhm.
just keep yourself occupied with something, and help your mom, help your dad, with household work also, help your wife. So that's what I do, like if I have to do something, I help, and I try to keep myself occupied, and I try to focus on those things which I can control, rather than, focusing on things which I cannot. So this is a simple message, focus on things which you can do, and rather than, like thinking about 100 things, which you cannot do.
Thank you so much for sharing your message with us, Pankaj.
My
I'm
pleasure, my
going
pleasure.
to link you down in my video as well. So everybody, you can go and follow Pankaj at, was it Shortcut Life? That's
Yeah,
his
Shortcut Life is the name of my channel,
YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
he is very entertaining and he gives a lot of very good tips, and you get to learn about hospitality, you get to learn about his life vision and his mission, and it's going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Pankaj. I have so much to learn from you as well, but we'll keep in touch offline.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. It
thank you
was
for
pleasure.
taking the
Thank
time.
you. Take care.